The southern front of the Zaporozhzhia region had been burning for weeks before the name Verkhnia Tersa suddenly appeared across Russian military channels and frontline reports. A small village on the map, almost invisible to outsiders, yet for the soldiers of the Russian armed forces Vostok Group, it became another brutal battleground carved out through artillery fire, drone warfare, and close-quarters assault. When the Russian Ministry of Defense officially announced that the settlement had been liberated on May 22nd, the statement sounded short and cold. But behind those few lines stood days of relentless combat, coordinated assaults, reconnaissance operations, and the slow collapse of Ukrainian defensive positions inside the village. Drone footage later circulated through Russian media outlets, showing Russian soldiers raising their flags over shattered buildings after intense fighting. Burned-out vehicles stood abandoned near defensive trenches while smoke still drifted across the ruined streets. For Moscow, the battle represented another tactical success in the gradual pressure campaign unfolding across the southern sector. For Ukraine, the silence surrounding Verkhnia Tersa revealed something else entirely: the growing difficulty of stabilizing defensive lines against constant Russian advances. The operation itself carried the signature methods increasingly used by the Russian Vostok Group. Before infantry even entered the village, reconnaissance drones had already mapped Ukrainian firing points, hidden trenches, mortar nests, and supply routes. Russian operators watched movement day and night, tracking rotations and identifying weak sectors in the defensive perimeter. What appeared on the surface as a sudden assault had actually been prepared through days of surveillance and artillery calibration. Every road entering Verkhnia Tersa became exposed to Russian observation. Then came the artillery phase. Russian tube artillery and multiple launch rocket systems reportedly struck Ukrainian positions continuously, targeting not only frontline trenches, but also rear logistical points where ammunition and reserves were concentrated. According to Russian military reports, the bombardment disrupted Ukrainian coordination before the main assault groups moved forward. In this war, villages are rarely taken through massive armored breakthroughs anymore. The battlefield has evolved into something slower, more methodical, and far deadlier. Small infantry detachments move under drone cover while artillery shapes the battlefield ahead of them. Every tree line, every abandoned house, every ruined barn can become a firing point or a death trap. Inside Verkhnia Tersa, Ukrainian forces were believed to have constructed layered defensive positions designed to delay Russian movement. Anti-armor teams, machine gun nests, and drone operators attempted to hold the settlement long enough for reinforcements to arrive. But the pressure from the Vostok Group kept intensifying. Russian assault detachments reportedly advanced from multiple directions simultaneously, forcing Ukrainian defenders to split their attention across several sectors. Once communication lines inside the village became disrupted, organized resistance reportedly began to weaken. What makes battles like Verkhnia Tersa especially brutal is the nature of modern drone warfare. Soldiers are no longer fighting only against enemy infantry directly in front of them. Above them constantly circle reconnaissance drones searching for movement. FPV drones carrying explosives hunt vehicles and infantry alike. A single detected position can immediately trigger artillery fire within minutes. Combat has become a deadly interaction between surveillance and destruction, and in villages like Verkhnia Tersa, hiding becomes nearly impossible. Russian military channels claim that assault units used rapid infiltration tactics during the final stages of the operation. Rather than storming every street head-on, small groups reportedly bypassed certain strongpoints and pushed deeper into the settlement, creating confusion among Ukrainian defenders. Once rear positions became threatened, defensive cohesion started collapsing. Some Ukrainian personnel reportedly withdrew under pressure, while others attempted to regroup in isolated pockets. The symbolic moment came when Russian soldiers were filmed waving flags inside the village after combat operations had largely ended. These scenes have become increasingly important in the information war surrounding the conflict. In modern warfare, drone footage serves not only military purposes but also political and psychological ones. A flag raised over destroyed buildings becomes a declaration of control, a message aimed at both domestic audiences and enemy forces. For the Russian side, the capture of Verkhnia Tersa was not being presented as merely another village taken on the map. The location sits within a strategically sensitive sector of the Zaporozhzhia region, where control over settlements influences supply routes, defensive depth, and artillery positioning. Small villages across this front operate like interconnected defensive anchors. Once one falls, nearby positions become increasingly vulnerable to pressure from flanking attacks and artillery observation. The terrain itself also matters enormously. Southern Ukraine is dominated by open fields with limited natural cover. Villages become essential defensive nodes because they provide shelter, concealment, and logistical staging points. Controlling a settlement like Verkhnia Tersa allows Russian forces to improve reconnaissance coverage across surrounding areas while tightening pressure on adjacent Ukrainian positions. Military analysts following the southern front have increasingly noted how Russian operations now rely heavily on grinding attritional tactics rather than dramatic, rapid offensives. The objective is not speed alone. The objective is exhaustion. Constant artillery strikes, drone surveillance, repeated assault waves, and pressure on supply lines gradually wear down defensive forces until positions become unsustainable. Verkhnia Tersa appears to fit exactly into that broader operational pattern. The Russian Ministry of Defense also connected the operation to wider battlefield statistics involving the Vostok Group. According to Russian figures, Ukrainian forces fighting within the group's area of responsibility suffered more than 2,050 personnel losses over the previous week, alongside significant equipment destruction, including 17 armored combat vehicles, 47 vehicles, and 6 artillery guns. While wartime casualty claims from all sides remain difficult to independently verify, the numbers themselves reflect how intense fighting has become across the southern theater. Kyiv has not officially emphasized the loss of Verkhnia Tersa. Public acknowledgement of territorial losses often arrives slowly, especially when fighting continues nearby or when military command seeks to avoid damaging morale. Ukrainian officials prefer describing situations as ongoing defensive operations rather than immediately confirming Russian control over specific settlements. Admitting the loss of smaller villages can create broader political pressure when combined with reports of Russian advances elsewhere. Until now, that's all for today, and thanks for watching.